Alrighty. Welcome, welcome. I see we've got Mickey D in the chat, and hopefully we'll have some more folks. If not, y'all can watch it in the VODs later. So let's jump right in. Week 6. We are um, coming down to the end, coming down to the wire. We've got, first up, not an anime sports team and the worst dancers. So the worst dancers sitting in the top spot on the season here. Let me pull up our projections too while we're at it. Worst dancers sitting on the top spot, looking pretty good for the whole season, and in fact they pulled out this game 3-2 over not an anime sports team. So let's check out the stats here. We've got possession pretty even. Or something. I still don't know how to read these possession stats. Anyhow, a bunch of passes on both sides of the ball. Blocks pretty. I mean, worst answer is taking fewer blocks than the elves, which is surprising. Equivalent numbers of armor breaks. KOs are totally stilted in the against the worst dancers, so that's shocking. Sorry, against the against not an anime sports team. On the other hand, I guess the worst dancers just got cast instead. So, all right, I certainly, if I'm the elves, I'll take that trade-off. One expulsion, so it looks like the elves were doing some fouling. And what do we get here? So, absolutely not air gear picked up a level off of 3 completions. So elves doing some vanity passing, like elves do. Touchdowns on a blitzer and a catcher, not to affect a level though. And MVP on a blitzer, which is great. Never sad to see an MVP land on a positional. Didn't land on the lineman, so that's good stuff. On the worst answer side, they picked up another level on two catchers. So their catchers are now very evenly leveled and all looking quite hale and hearty. I guess we'll see as we look at the later look at their next matchup, but what they picked up. But I could see probably some more block on these catchers, perhaps. I don't know. It's this team is oddly built, right? They don't have any blitzers, so they're really relying on the sack and the steal and I guess getting in the end zone. So maybe we see some passing stats. I guess would be my that would be the other option for some of those catchers, just to facilitate that fast-moving gameplay. MVP on a lineman that already had wrestle, did not pick up a level from it. And the sacker lineman still has a ways to go. But honestly, I don't know that it needs much more, so maybe it's fine for it to not be picking up any additional MVP. You really want those catchers to be taking the points. All right, so that's them. I think we can certainly expect them to be moving on quite handily. So then we had Joey's Top Ratata and Over the Main Street Exiles 2-1. As predicted, the Rats taking more blocks than the Exiles. I suspect there's a story there. Exiles seemingly not doing what they were trying to do. Pretty similar numbers of injuries and KOs. The Exiles did not take anything permanent, so that's good for them. Rats didn't take anything relevant either. Did not level anything up. So these two gutter runners that don't yet have levels are still waiting, but he was able to feed them both touchdowns, so that was probably Superbase is probably happy about that. On the Exiles side, One Kaz on the strength up on the Killer Wolf. Touchdown on the runner. Well, or maybe a sacker. I don't know what this wolf is going for, but touchdown on the other wolf. Another Kaz on a white, or on a fleshy rather. And a level up on the zombie. Maybe we'll see another dirty player here. All right, looking at match number 4, Defida Aces and Icy Gamers. So Icy Gamers popped in late. They tied. Well done, Icy Gamers. That's was not expecting. 0-0 tie. The Gamers only had 6 possessions, so got stolen from on their ball probably, but managed to put the other team down. Stop the score. 70 blocks. That is a lot of blocks from a Lizardman team. They're not even benefiting from like fend weirdness, weird counting. That was just both teams were standing and punching each other in the face. So, but what did he get off of that? Not really much at all. One Kaz on the Crocs, MVP on a Saurus that already had block. This is not really what you want to be seeing here. I feel like this team is I guess that's an armor bust on another Saurus. So certainly likely to see Howdy Mandel fired before he plays again. Fighter Aces did not get really much of anything either. 2 Kaz on the killer, one of the killer blitzers. Kaz on the orc, on the blork that has mighty blow, and then yet another MVP on a lineman. Very even distribution on those lineman MVPs, but nothing actually coming out of it. I'm still shocked at this 70 blocks. That seems crazy. And then the last game, another tie. Guys, what are all these ties about? Come on. So we got Short Black Sheep and Composting Cavaliers. So again, pretty high block game, not as high as the last one. The sheep getting their armor broken a fair amount, but looking at, yeah, it was pretty even from a casualties and removals perspective. It looks like the Cavaliers were doing some fouling based on the expulsion, and they have several dirty players, so that's to be expected. Let's see. So touchdown and an MVP going to the runner doesn't quite get your sacker up a level, huh, Holes? But it's right there. Expect to see that shortly. And then Kaz on the Troll Slayer for a level up. That's a nice bit of development there. Wait. Oh, you bought a guard loner. Interesting. That's were you really down that much in TV when this started? Yeah, okay. Good chunk of TV down. I mean, certainly can't object to the extra. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Certainly can't object to having an extra player against the Nurgle that is going to be wanting to foul you with their 2 dirty players, and an extra bit of guard to help with the strength deficit. So yeah, seems to have worked out, although without the runner, seems like it was hard to actually bring things home. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not got much more to say. I don't know, Holes, did you have any other anything else interesting and relevant comment on this particular match? Anyhow, Holes will chime in if there's anything more. But that does put the yeah. Was it an earlier than week game? I don't know. I find I can't remember them. What was that? The 11th? No, the 10th? It was only 2 days ago. Come on now. Yeah, I mean, um, yeah, Pesty was doing work, although didn't get any casts, just trying to knock things over. Um, yeah, and so that's that for that. That puts us in. What does that look like for as far as possible outcomes to this div? So we've got, well, first of all, Anime Sports Team and Fighta Aces played already, so that does that. I think the top slot is pretty much sealed up for the worst answers. Yeah, they're at 16. There is no one that can catch them. Um, the the Cavaliers and Joeys are both in the running for possible wildcard slots. However, I think there are 3 wildcard slots for the split, if I'm remembering correctly. And I don't know if that's across. Yeah, it's probably just across REL. So 11, some 10s, a 15 here. So Rational Orc or Practical Snow, um, either of them probably get the nod as uh, one of the wild card slots, and then certainly Fiction and Awesome Dude are both running a little bit higher up. Holy smokes, 17 points on both of these. Orifer and Shipupi are both running very high point divs, so that's probably they're easily another shoe-ins. There's only one wild card slot really still open, and there's some 11s and 12s. So I would say it's looking pretty solid that we see the worst answers in the play-ins, and then the rest of you guys get to go to training grounds. Um, Interestingly, I'm noticing there's another Kislev going into play-ins. Then a high elf or an undead, wood elf, human. Should be a good mix. Not a lot of bashy teams going in. In fact, no bashy teams. Um, Maybe Necro coming into play-ins from REL. Oh, there's an undead too. Um, yeah, so I think that's what we got here. Um, yeah, so let's take a look at the matches next week. Um, this week, I guess, is really what they are. We don't need to bother calling this one. So then we've got worst answers and Joey's, the two of the top 2 teams. We've got the Exiles and the Short Black Sheep, and Icy Gamers. I see ReBBL has not updated against the Composting Cavaliers. So let's take a look at the worst answers. First, we'll review ArchXL and Rumblebee's game next week. But let's see, worst answers and Joey's. So what do we got for teams here? The dancers are down a lineman. Otherwise, they are hale and healthy. Got block on the other 2 catchers, so we're now looking at 3 pseudo blitzers. The rats, on the other hand, have their natural 1-turner and doesn't have sure feet yet. I'm sure that would be could be a pickup he's looking for. Yeah, the 1-turn of the Sacker Claw Blitzer. Not yet a Claw Palm Blitzer, but I'm sure that's coming. So Joey's is looking pretty stacked here, but the worst answers have really made a kind of a name for themselves, I would say, for high-scoring games. So I think this could be a shootout. Is really that's what I'm predicting. I think we see a very high-scoring game. I do think the worst dancers take it in this one, although I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be super surprised if the rats pick it up. The dancers are getting wizard, which will help with their takeaway. On the other hand, the one-turner is the one-turner, so if can't wizard the one-turner, at least not uh, except in revenge. Let's see. So holes, you've got you blitzer's out now, huh? Your runner's back in though. It's looking at exiles. Oh, got guard on a zombie. All right. Oh, yeah, Troll Slayer level. There it is. Mighty blow on your one of your Troll Slayers, so that'll be good. Let you punch the wolf and the fleshies before they punch you back, or rather, at least let you remove them. Hopefully. Um. So what do I think about this game? What do I think? So Major has one ghoul with dodge. You've got a bunch of tackle, but on very slow pieces. You've got your runner back in, but the speed is not really there because you're dwarves. I think this one's yours, Holes, but yeah, I think that the usual game plan of punch down the pitch is probably gonna work just fine. It's a little bummer to be missing this the Agi up blitzer, but um, mostly because of the guard. But you do have your Agi up runner, so I don't think you're gonna have any trouble. I mean, your ball carrier is pretty solid, not liable to be sacked. The movement on the wolves is definitely could be a problem. Could be a problem. But if you can, yeah, being down guard is not great for you. But I think especially if you can get any removals on the wolves, I think that sets you up in a pretty good spot. All right, what's the last game here? Here we go. Icy Gamers, who I don't have pulled up because they. All right, let's take a look at their team there. Okay, so they're out of Skink, they're out of Saurus, who they have not fired yet, but I could see it happening. They have 90k, they can replace him. Compost and Cavaliers have not spent any money. Did they? I don't remember if they got any levels in their match with you. No. So they're looking pretty healthy and pretty much the way they've been looking. Skink is just going to turn into a loner. No huge problem there. Downosaurus though is, I guess if you fire it, then it doesn't matter. I think you just fire it and replace it this turn. For this game, so you're not Downosaurus. So that would put the lizards at both the strength and the movement advantage. On the other hand, the Nurgle has a pretty significant numbers advantage. I don't think they skip any. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 3 dirty players. No tackle. So nothing to really put the hurt on the skinks easily in the backfield. The Warriors have block more or less across the board. I think I like this one for the Nurgle. Lizards are gonna get a bunch of inducements here, but probably not. Even if you get Slibley, I don't think that really changes the course of the match that much. So I think we see the Nurgle take this one. And if that all comes to pass, then we would be looking at, whoops, there we go. We would be looking at a net score of, the worst answers would be running at 19. The Cavaliers would be running at 14. The Rats would be stuck at 11. Joey would be up at 13, which is not quite enough to catch the Cavaliers for that possible wildcard slot. And then the Aces are set. The Exiles would be at 6 still. And the Lizards would be at 1. So, yeah. So I think you've got a 13. I mean, yeah, I don't think the wild card lands in here. I think we really just have I think we see the worst answers in play-ins, and everyone else runs off to what's the word? Training grounds. That's the word. And hopefully I will do some recapping there for either training grounds or play-ins or both. I guess we'll see. Training grounds. Yeah. Someday I'll remember. How's it going, Major? Made it by the end. I predicted your downfall to the dwarves, to your left or right or whatever direction you want to call it. But yeah, I think that's where we're at. All right, I think I'm gonna sign off. Hopefully, get some sleep. Hopefully the kids don't keep me up, and I will catch you all next week. Take care, and we'll see you down the pitch.